Hello viewers, very good afternoon and welcome to Africa and Beyond Television Network. We continue to take a look on what is happening in the nation Zimbabwe without fear, without favor. And today with me is an analysis from my brother Brighton Mutebuka, a very important analysis which carries a lot of weight and a lot of significance in this period and era where ZANU-PF's succession is at the helm of any other story. So we are taking a look onto what Brighton Mutebuka, who is a lawyer, an advocate who understands how some constitutional things work, legal and constitutional things work. Brighton Mutebuka is talking about the complications arising from the ED Ngarambe Achingotonga slogan. This is a slogan which carries consequences. This is a slogan which is not going to be a slogan which will go away just like that. It will carry a lot of complications and implications as well as consequences. Everything you do, it does have consequences. This is something very important, and let us explore, let us go deeper. So number one, Zimbabwe's constitution says ED cannot extend his term to 2020 or to beyond 2028. ED's term has to end by the year 2028. There is no constitutional provision that allows its extension, amendment, and allow him to benefit from it. This is clear. No matter the circumstances, no matter what they do, it can't happen under the constitution. So number two, whatever he's trying to do, it will be 100% unconstitutional, even if he succeeds in doing it. So doing something does not mean it becomes constitutional. Like the coup which happened in 2017, it was illegal, but it happened anyway. And Mnangagwa got away with it and nothing happened to him, but it was a coup. It remained so. The November 2017, it was successful because Chiwenga had control of the army and managed to unleash it in tanks onto the streets. There was national and international consensus that Bob was old, potentially physically and mentally incapacitated, and had overstayed. He had to go. And Grace Mugabe was unhinged and could not succeed. So you can actually see what was happening in 2017. Another faction was overpowered and another faction won. But to that effect, Catriona Lang, the ex-British envoy, was also highly instrumental in mobilizing the British, EU, and regional opposition to the coup. While selling ED as business-oriented, not an ideology, someone they could work with when resetting relations and bringing Zim back to pariah status, which ensured that there was a lot of goodwill when ED assumed power. So everybody, the British, the European Union, they thought that ED was that man they needed because of the envoy, Catriona Lang, who played a very pivotal role. Chiwenga clearly put his neck on the line to topple Robert Mugabe. And it is common cause that he feels entitled to succeed ED and reap the mother of all dividends from that desperately dice enterprise. So we cannot run away from facts. Chiwenga played a very pivotal role, a very deadly role, a very critical role, and he put his life on the line for Emmerson Mnangagwa, which means at this point in time, whatever the circumstances, Chiwenga feels betrayed by ED Mnangagwa when Ngarambe Achingotonga slogan is happening. So from the personal ambition point of view, it is plainly the case that he stands to lose the most from any interruption to the current constitutional processes. Chiwenga is the biggest loser of all within ZANU-PF if Emmerson Mnangagwa manages to manipulate the constitution, the party, and the whole country to rally behind him for another leadership term. So you feel that he has been patient, tolerant, and respectful enough. Yes, this is a fact. Emmerson Mnangagwa has pushed this far, and at a certain point in time, Chiwenga and his comrades, they will feel that they've been patient, they've been tolerant, they've been respectful enough, and to say, guys, let us call it quits. But the problem is, varikupera kunge nunzi, varikupera kunge inda on daily basis. They are dying, and they can't even stop it. So due to his lengthy ties to the deep state, with which potentially rivals with those of ED. He will likely routinely receive his own intelligence concerning ED's plans well ahead of time, which means whatever ED is planning, there is a possibility that the military intelligence directly reports to him, and also a possibility that part of the CIO directly reports to him. So this is something else. Again, just like ED, you will likely have sufficient clout, influence, reach within the very belly of the deep state to scuttle ED's plan. So Emmerson Mnangagwa got much capacity and ability because of the failures of Robert Mugabe, because of what was happening in the economy. And Mnangagwa is worse now, is in a worse position than that of Robert Mugabe then. Which means at this point in time, Chiwenga is likely going to have more sufficient influence. And is the hope of some comrades within the ranks and files of the military to save ZANU-PF and to save Emmerson Mnangagwa. And remove Emmerson Mnangagwa. So the grave miscalculation of Emmerson Mnangagwa is stemming from his failure to appreciate that the pursuit of a third term immediately triggers a risk of a direct confrontation with Chiwenga for interrupting his great expectations. Chiwenga as a man does have expectations. Yes, when they agreed to remove Robert Mugabe, they expected something. There were promises which were made. And these promises are no longer executable because of Emmerson Mnangagwa's stance on the 2013 Chipo. So these people, they even wanted to be there earlier. They wanted Chiwenga to be in charge as of right now. But it has failed to happen. It has failed to materialize. And the only chance is to make sure that when Emmerson Mnangagwa continues to make these mistakes, they strike. So it is that potential confrontation which presents an existential threat to both of them due to uncertainty which arises from a complex array of variables involved. Emmerson Mnangagwa, Constantino Chiwenga, and the comrades, they are uncertain of their future. They do not know. Most probably, the emergence of another faction within the military then is giving them sleepless nights, because this military faction is likely going to be more popular with the people's demands. And that will be the end of Idi Mnangagwa and Constantino Chiwenga. And the major catalyst in this whole thing is Idi. It's essentially of a no-holds-barred explosive winner-takes-all duel with an uncertain outcome. There is so much at stake being gambled for so little in return. So this whole issue, what are you going to benefit from this? They are looting. While listed, they are there. They are looting in any position. They've been powerful in any position. What more do they need? Why are they continuously gambling? Because this whole thing is going to lead to both teams lose. As the winner will be engulfed in illegitimacy. Unlike November 2017, they will not be accepted nationally, regionally, and internationally. That is the fact. If Constantino Chiwenga takes over right now, the greatest possibility that he will be rejected, the possibility is very great, very big, that he will be rejected. So this is something very important, because the people are likely going to put more pressure so that we go back and revisit 2023. And a leader who won those elections is then installed as the president. So all the roads then, they are likely going to lead to a negotiated settlement guaranteed by regional and international bodies, which means whatever which is going to be the outcome of what is going to happen, there will be need to involve the regional bodies and the international bodies so that they have a negotiated settlement. However, if Chiwenga prevails, depending on how he does this, he can potentially constitutionally lay claim to the throne on the basis that he represents a continuation of the previous regime. So this is also possible. If Mnangagwa is removed today, they will continue, or they will want to continue the same way Mnangagwa continued when Robert Mugabe was removed. So Chiwenga is likely going to use the dependence of Mnangagwa's leadership at this point in time. The major question is, what will Emmerson Mnangagwa do if he feels that his last days have actually come? What will he do? Will he let Chiwenga take over or achangodira jecha? That is a question for another day. So that can only be feasible prospect if he somehow ejects ED's current checkmate at the Constitutional Court in the form of Malaba, as litigation will clearly be inevitable in such a situation. So without removing Malaba, then another problem is there. As long as Malaba is there, then it becomes a problem, because whatever Chiwenga will do, Malaba is likely going to go against it. Again, if Chiwenga prevails, he has got no option but to distance his regime from far away from ED as possible and take the Joao Manuel Lourenco's approach. So what happened is that when Lourenco came as president, he came and changed everything, went after his predecessor, the Dos Santos family, and recovered a lot of loot, etc. Will Chiwenga do that? There is a great possibility that if Chiwenga succeeds to be the president of Zimbabwe, the only way is to go after Emmerson Mnangagwa and his proxies, recover everything and anything. That is the only way he's going to sanitize his government to make it acceptable. So such an approach also presents a huge risk to Emmerson Mnangagwa, his family, acolytes, and potentially informs the current reluctance to give up power. So whatever Emmerson Mnangagwa is doing right now, it's a matter of preservation, not of power, but the preservation of what was looted. These people want to preserve what they have looted at all costs by any chance possible. This is the reason why they are fighting for 2030 Tinengeti chip, such that it comes to a point where he can successfully then put in charge another person. So this is something very important at this point in time. And you know, the reason why 2030 is, these people are calculating kuti anosvikare 2030 Chiwenga. So it's another issue of trying to calculate to say, maybe if we can prolong it to 2030, pane pafa chikwata chakawanda chiri kuresista CSH, which means they will be able to hand over power to Emmerson Mnangagwa's son without any resistance from the other side. So he says, I'm tempted to conclude that if ED had full confidence that Chiwenga would protect him and any ill-gotten wealth he has amassed after exiting power, he would not be seeing these current shenanigans. Here's one of the most important things I have observed from this statement. General Chiwenga, in all what you are hearing, General Chiwenga is not fingered in anything. Go to Al Jazeera documentary God Mafia. There is no mention of General Chiwenga and his comrades. Go to the corruption cases coming out. There is no mention of General Chiwenga and his comrades. Go to the Auditor General's report. There is no mention of General Chiwenga and his comrades. It's only Emmerson Mnangagwa fingered. Why? So this should tell you and show you where the nation is going and the direction which is being taken by this nation. So regardless of how it pans out, there can be no doubt that ED is testing Chiwenga's soul and conscience to the fullest extent humanly possible. Mnangagwa is trying by all means possible to play his cards very wise. It's a matter of sacrificing today and benefit tomorrow. So everything else we are currently seeing is collateral damage in this vicious and highly dangerous power struggle. The political intrigue is certainly gathering momentum. At the point, it's still delicately hanging just on the margins of the political shadows, finally poised is too early to tell who lands the fatal and decisive blow, how and when. But make no mistake, it's coming. Here is the major problem. Nelson Chamisa is the major problem in all this setup you have seen, because he remains quiet. He commands a very big populace of people in each and every major town, which can be a key determinant to who is going to win what. So Nelson Chamisa can take advantage of any situation which arises from what is happening and take over power. It's possible because he does have a constitutional mandate from the 2023 elections, which means these people, both of them, they know that the game they are now playing, or the waters they are trading, are muddy waters, and it is not going to end well. But because of the risks involved, they do not care. Because either way, if Mnangagwa continues, Chiwenga is decimated and likely is going to be terminated. And that is the reason why he's pushing. If ED survives, then it means another person will have to come. If Chiwenga survives, it means ED will have to pay for all the crimes he has committed from Gukura Hundi up to this day. So you can actually see the reason why these people are reluctant to leave, and they've tried by all means possible to do whatever they can. This is the reason why you see these issues happening. Mnangagwa will never investigate all the issues surrounding his family, all the controversies, but will be likely going to deal with them independently and quietly. So this is it. This is my brother, Brighton Mutebuka, and this is something very important, very, very, very powerful piece from my brother, Brighton Mutebuka. And these are complications arising from the ED Ngaramba Chingotonga slogan. This is not a mere slogan. This is not a small slogan. It's a slogan with consequences. So just a few days ago, so these are Murewa youths running around in Murewa, contradicting what Emerson Mnangagwa has said himself. Ngavarambe Wachingotonga slogan is continuing to be heard on daily basis. So it is what it is. We'll continue to watch and see who is going to emerge victorious, who is going to win in this battle. I love you all. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming.